This is the first time I've ever genuinely in my medical career felt like I was in control. This is how I got the hospital to pay for my holiday. I've just finished a month of locum rural doctor work, and instead of going straight into my next job in a new location, I ended up with a week off, fully covered in a beachside holiday destination. No annual leave, no extra pay, just a simple tweak. I'm flying to Cairns tomorrow. Let me show you how I pulled this off. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I'm a medical doctor, content creator, exploring work-life freedom, which basically means I make videos about quitting work and occasionally going back to work. At this moment in time, I do something called locum doctor work, which means I'm not a permanent staff member. I just fill in gaps in hospital rosters where they need extra cover. I've just finished a stint in rural New South Wales, where I was there for a month doing emergency shifts. And that was my first stint since taking a year off to travel the world. And I've booked myself another contract, but this time I'm going to a coastal town. I won't say the exact place I'm going to be working, but it's going to be somewhere quite lovely next to a beach with hopefully sunshine and some good times. My fiance and I are flying up tomorrow, and we're spending a week in Mission Beach with some friends who are house sitting nearby, all before I start work, without me having to pay for a single thing. And here's how I made it happen, and you can too, if you're doing the locum doctor work, or if you're just like a freelancer in any of the industries. Maybe you can set yourself up in a similar way. So this is how it works. Usually for locum doctors, hospitals will cover the cost of the flights, the accommodation, and sometimes a rental car if you're lucky. And what I did to get myself a little holiday was I just asked them to fly me in a week early. It's the exact same cost for them. They were already going to pay for the flight. The only thing that I do need to do is pay for my own accommodation, because obviously they'll just pay for the accommodation for the time that I'm there. However, because we're visiting some friends who are house sitting nearby, we're actually just going to be staying with them totally for free. So I get a full week off in paradise before clocking in. And it just goes to show it never hurts to ask. You miss 100% of the cheeky requests you don't make, especially if you ask politely and it doesn't cost them anymore. Worst case, they say no. Best case, you're drinking a coconut on the beach before your next shift. So with all that said and done, let's get packing. So for years I felt like I was just following the standard path. Uni, med school, NHS, hospital rosters, whatever was next in line. But now, these past couple of years, this is the first time I've ever genuinely in my medical career felt like I was in control. Felt like I was living life on my terms. We're flying to Cairns tomorrow. I've got a whole week of vacation and I get to use this time however I want. And I don't take that for granted. So let me show you what life on my terms actually means. Because it doesn't mean I've moved to Byron Bay to sell kombucha and do ecstatic dance. Yet. Hello and welcome to coastal Australia. Okay, we've made it to Cairns. I'm always surprised by how the temperature and the weather varies so much in different parts of Australia. So much hotter here, so I've put on my holiday gear and I'm just going to chill out in the apartment, maybe do a little bit of content work and then do some exploring later. We've got a couple of days here in Cairns and then we'll be traveling down to Mission Beach to meet our friends who are staying there too. So just had a nice little coffee work session in a local cafe, had a little stretching session at the gym, and before I head to the promenade to check out the waterfront, I just want to leave you with this thought, which I've been thinking about recently, which is I don't think working is necessarily the enemy of freedom. And I don't think freedom has to mean quitting your job and running away. Sometimes it just means little things like asking to fly in a week earlier. And for me, freedom's not about running away from responsibility, but it's about saying yes to things that are important to me. Yes to things like my partner, travel, creativity, and making stuff like this. So if you've got a skill, you don't necessarily have to be a doctor. You don't necessarily have to be in healthcare. You could be a teacher or anything. Maybe you don't have to follow the standard path. Maybe there is a way to build your own version of it. And I just want to leave you with this question. What is a successful life to you? Before I tell you my answer, tell me your answer in the comments below. And there are no wrong answers unless you're going to tell me you want to be a middle manager in Deloitte. Then we'll have to talk. But I think a successful life is life on your terms. It's about building a life that feels like yours. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my time here, going to catch up with my friends tomorrow, and I'll see you next week.